NFL future bets. I feel like they have to be now or never. First one you got to start with the Washington Commanders to win the NFC East. First of all, it's great odds. Plus 220 on a quarterback who just went to the NFC Championship. I know what everyone's worried about. Oh, what if he has a CJ Stroud season? A sophomore slump is bound to be incoming. Well, that's not necessarily true because the amount of quarterbacks that have sophomore slumps, it doesn't happen. They actually go to Super Bowls. So Brock Purdy went to a Super Bowl. Joe Burrow, all those guys played awesome. The other reason, there has not been a back-to-back NFC East winner since 2003 and 4 when the Eagles went back-to-back. Now, the Eagles may very well go back-to-back, but it's going to come down to the wire. So I think the Commanders can easily pull it out. The Eagles have a very tough schedule this year. And again, this is the team that I'm looking at, the team to beat. The Commanders got better this year. They got Von Miller. They brought in Deebo Samuel. They brought in guys. This is a Super Bowl winning team. I 100% believe in it. And the fact that there has not been a back-to-back NFC East winner since 2003, this is the thing. This is going to be a competitive division. I really do believe it. Cowboys, Eagles, and Commanders are all going to be really close. But in terms of looking at who's going to win the Super Bowl, I think it's going to be these two teams right here. They have potential. The Texans and the Commanders. This is two teams that are very close. And talking about other teams that are going to win their division, I like the Texans. I think two sneaky ones could be the Bengals and could be the Bears. Again, two for value plays. Bears are like plus 400. Bengals are like plus 275. Similar to the Commanders. But the Texans win total just seems too low to me. Everyone that I've seen make videos about this are like, oh, the Texans aren't going to win 10 games because they're looking at last year and they're looking at, oh, they didn't look too good last year. You know why the Texans didn't look good last year? Because guess what? Bobby Slowick was running bad play calling. The injuries, you had Nico Collins go down. Stephon Diggs is out for the year. Tank Dell had that crazy injury. This team is a lot more improved. Nick Caley, new offense coordinator. Texans look good. Yes, it may be a tough schedule, but they should win at least 9 games. So if you feel a little bit nervous about the 9.5, go ahead and knock it down. It's probably like minus 170 on DraftKings. Love the Texans to win at least 9 games, especially because they're in a winnable division, a winnable conference. So I love the Texans this year. There's no reason they should not be fighting for a division. They should definitely be fighting for the division lead, if not the wild card spot at the very least. My only fear is that the Texans might have to fight with Jacksonville for this division at like 10, 11 wins. But I still think 11, I have them winning 12 games. But again, love the Texans potentially to win the AFC South plus 115. I would just do over 9.5. But again, a team that I think could win the Super Bowl plus 2,500 odds. I like them to win the Super Bowl. Commanders, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but two teams that are potentially under the radar that could go far. As far as the going far, the Jaguars. Over 7.5 wins. It's interesting, but Liam Cohen, a new head coach, I would like to lean to the over there. 55% of confidence in the over 7.5. 7.5 seems a little low. 6.5 if you want to knock it down and be a little cheaper. Sure, it's probably going to be minus 230. But the Jaguars should win at least 8 games. I think they're going to be a very good team, middle of the pack. They're going to be very good coached, very highly underrated, I would say, and the defense is pretty good as well. It's really it all comes down to the offense. So I think 7.5. I like that bet. Now let's get into some players because honestly, you're gonna hear a lot of similar names that you've heard throughout this podcast. But Matthew Golden, only at 725 yards. That's a little low. Just saying. This is a guy who's going to get wide receiver 1 volume. I'm not saying he's going to get 1,000 yards, but all he needs to get is 750. That's a little low for me. I was looking at Keon Coleman, Ladd McConkey. Ladd McConkey's yards were at similar right here. Because he's a rookie, because you don't know what to expect. He's at least getting 800 yards. I'm telling you that right now. Listen, Matthew Golden is a star in the making. This kid can play. And I'm telling you, this is going to be Jordan Love's number 1 target. If you don't want to draft him in fantasy, fine. But if you look at that number, 700.5, oh my gosh, it's criminal. Number 2, I guess. This is 7 out of 11 on my slideshow. So a couple more players. Ashton Jeanty. I don't know how to feel about him. I think he's going to get 1,000 yards. Does he get 1,100? It's a little bit sketchy. I don't know. I'd say over 7.5 touchdowns, though. That's a pretty safe bet that I'm like, you know what? Ashton Jeanty is a workhorse. He's a beast. I don't know how many times the Raiders are going to run it on the goal line, but if they're down there, they're going to give it to that guy. So I love Ashton Jeanty. I think when you look at what he's made of, he's 100% grit, 100% the strength that you need. So big on Ashton Jeanty. And maybe not the yards, but the touchdowns are there in my eyes. All right. Next one, DK Metcalf. We talked about him a little earlier, but another guy I feel like his line is a little bit low. I feel like it should be at 1,500. DK's a guy who's the only receiver on that team. And you look at George Pickens last year, he did about the similar aspect, 950 yards. George Pickens in 14 games, 900 yards, and five touchdowns. So actually only had 3, but the season before in 2023 he had 1,100 yards. That's kind of what I'm expecting out of DK Metcalf, around 60-70 catches, 1,100 yards. This is one of the ones that I'm on the riskier side with, but I love the Matthew Golden one. I like the Ashton Jeanty one. This one seems pretty good too, but this one's even better. Caleb Johnson, another rookie. It opened at 900. If you look at DraftKings odds, 775. This is a guy who's going to take over Najee Harris's position. And Najee, as bad as a runner that he was last year, he's still in 1,000 yards. He still had 1,000 yards. That's incredible. Najee Harris, 3.5 yards a carry. Caleb Johnson is a beast. Maybe not. I don't even know. He might even hit the touchdowns too, but looking at it, rushing yards, I like that a lot. And then CJ Stroud. I personally think he's in the running for the MVP category. Plus 10,000 odds? It's a good boost right there, honestly. For the low value that it is, I would consider it. But I'm looking at the passing yards. It's a little low for me. He passed for 3,800 last year. He can easily do that again this year. It's at 3,650. I don't know why it's going down. Everyone's sleeping on the Texans. I like Stroud yards. I like Nico Collins yards. Stroud's going to throw for 4,000. I have no doubt in my mind. I really don't even have to spend too much longer on this. I've talked about Stroud. He's underrated. He's got a new offensive line. It's not the best, but he's got new weapons. That was the problem last year. It wasn't the offensive line. It was. But it was also the fact that he was missing wide receivers. He was missing good play calling. He didn't feel comfortable in that system. Bobby Slowick had these long developing plays, did not know how to run situational football, and CJ Stroud now has the free will to call and check his own plays at the line of scrimmage because they have that confidence in him with Nick Caley. So that's awesome. Last one, a little bit different because you look at the fact that I did talk about a lot of players that I talked about in fantasy. So somebody different, Deebo Samuel. I think he's really going to adapt into the number 2 role very well. 700 is a little bit risky, but if we're going to see anything about Terry McLaurin holding out, 700 yards should be a breeze for Deebo. But I look at 700 yards and it's really nothing crazy. Yes, for a wide receiver too, it's a little risky. However, when you're looking at new and improved guys to get the ball, this is a wide receiver core. This is an offense rather, that I think is going to look like 2 1,000-yard seasons. This is going to look like one of the best wide receiving cores in the NFL. You look at A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, 2 1,000-yard guys. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle back in the day. This is the next best offense. Maybe your Mike Evans and your Chris Godwin. The 2 1,000-yard receivers that you never see anymore, watch out. The Commanders' offense, Deebo, is going to be a screen pass guy. He's going to be your deep threat guy. So he might not have a lot of catches, but he's going to have a lot of yards. And 700, it just seems a little low to me. So just to recap, love the Commanders to win the division. Love the Texans win total. Love the Texans win total. The Jaguars win total. And then a couple players. Golden is a beast. Jeanty is a beast. DK is a little iffy, so I can understand if you're out on that one. Caleb, I think it's easy. 750, no doubt about it. And then CJ Stroud. I think it's a very safe one. So 4, 5, 6 plays for you. Let me know what you think. Let me know if I'm missing anybody. Tried to pull out the best information that I could on each player in terms of the division. I literally did every record prediction for every team. So I'm just trying to give you guys the best ultimate strategy in terms of what you're looking at, and you do your research in terms of who you're drafting in fantasy and who you're gonna go out and get for the future betting as well. But thank you guys so much for watching. This has been a little bit of quieter episode because guess what? It's like 10:30 at night. So apologies for my low voice. In an apartment complex, kind of don't want to wake anybody up. But sweating a little bit, kind of an hour and a half kind of podcast on and off the air. But appreciate everyone hanging out. Let me know if I should do this again. Probably not that late, so I don't wake anyone up. But I'm gonna end this before I get a noise complaint. Thank you everyone for watching. Hit that sub button if you're new. Sorry I'm whispering, but cheers.